Hello friends, welcome to my 10th video on quadratic equations and theory of equations. This is the last video of this series. In this series, I will be continuing with discussion on location of roots. My name is Yogeshwar Singh and let's start. First of all, you have to make it very clear that what do we mean by location of roots. By location of roots, we mean that where the roots of a given quadratic will be located on the x-axis relative to a given number or intervals. Same thing we will be discussing in this lecture, and we will be discussing some questions based on the above concept. Before we start, let's have a quick recap of things which we have discussed in quadratic equations chapter and things which will be used in the location of roots. For the function quadratic f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, this is an expression. Discriminant is b square minus 4ac and it is denoted by capital letter D. On solving this, if we convert this expression into an equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 or fx is equal to 0, by Sridharacharya formula we say that the values of x satisfying the equation will be minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac, that is discriminant, divided by 2a, and we name these roots alpha and beta. Now, in the graphs of quadratic equations, a positive means parabola opens upwards and a negative means parabola opens downwards. D positive means 2 points of intersection with x-axis. D 0 means graph touches the x-axis. D negative means graph neither touches nor intersects the x-axis. A into fx is equal to 0 when x is equal to alpha or beta, means this product leading coefficient into value of function will be 0 when the value of x will be alpha or beta, that is the roots of the quadratic equation. A into fx is positive when x belongs to minus infinity to alpha and beta to infinity or beyond the roots. AFX, this product is negative when x belongs to the interval alpha beta or in between the roots. And if for any value k, a times fk is less than 0, then the quadratic equation must have real and distinct roots. And if for any two numbers k1 and k2, f of k1 into f of k2, that is the value of the function at these 2 points are of opposite signs, that is their product is negative, then also the equation has two distinct roots and one root must lie between k1 and k2. There are certain general assumptions which I will be using in every case of location of roots. So I'll be writing these down once in the starting only, and then on wherever I use these standard words, it means that this expression is expected. So for all the cases from now, given quadratic function is f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0 and a, b, c belongs to real numbers and are constants, and the equation corresponding to this is f of x is equal to 0 or ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. K or k1 or k2 used are all constant real numbers, and if required we assume k1 is less than k2, means these alphabets k, k1 and k2 are constant numbers for location of roots. Case 1, let's start with case 1. Case 1 is, suppose you are given a number k, for example 1, 2 or 3, which you have to ascertain that it lies between the roots of f of x is equal to 0. For this number k to lie between the roots of f of x is equal to 0, that is k lies between alpha and beta. So now you have to form the inequalities which makes sure that k lies between the roots of f of x is equal to 0. So let's start with the discussion. The necessary and sufficient condition to ascertain this is you have to make only one inequality, a times fk, that is leading coefficient into value of function at that point is less than 0, this is the necessary and sufficient condition. Only one inequality is required. What is the meaning of necessary and sufficient? This statement is quite frequently used in mathematics. So let's understand the meaning of this statement. Necessary means this inequality is compulsory. You have to make this inequality. And sufficient means only this is sufficient to ensure the required condition in the question. Let's see how this inequality ensures that k will always lie between the roots of the quadratic equation. First of all, you have to understand that k will lie between the roots only if roots exist. If roots exist, then only we can say that k lies between the roots. If the roots doesn't exist, then we cannot say that anything lies between the roots. So the roots has to exist, and then k has to lie between alpha and beta. So since we have said that a into fk is less than 0, this is negative only between the roots. Since there is an interval between the roots which exists, it means that the roots itself exist. Let's understand it graphically also, that if a is positive, it means since this product is negative, fk has to be negative. So this graph is an upwards parabola and it has to attain a negative value at fk, means at k the function is attaining a negative value. Graph is coming from plus infinity going to a negative point at k. It means it has to definitely cut x axis before k. Then again the graph will start increasing at some point, and again it has to go to plus infinity. So it will definitely cut x axis beyond k, means one root will be less than k and another root will be greater than k, that is k lies between the interval alpha and beta. If a is less than 0, then f of k should be positive, and if f of k is positive, then we say that the parabola is downwards, it is increasing from minus infinity and attaining a positive value at k. The function is attaining a positive value at k, it means it will definitely cut x axis before k and go to this positive value and then start decreasing and cut the x axis again to reach minus infinity when x tends to plus infinity. So only this inequality is sufficient to ensure that the roots exist and k lies between the roots of quadratic equation f of x is equal to 0. Let's solve an example. We have to find all values of m for which 3, this number 3, in place of k we have used 3 over here. 3 lies between the roots of quadratic m plus 4 into x square minus 3mx plus 5 is equal to 0. So we know that the required condition is a into fk is less than 0, that is m plus 4, this is the leading coefficient a, multiplied by value of function at 3, this product should be less than 0. Here fx is f of m plus 4 into x square minus 3mx plus 5. This quadratic expression is the fx here. So f of 3 is, you put the value of x as 3 in this equation, you get m plus 4 into 3 square minus 3m into 3 plus 5, or 9m plus 36 minus 9m plus 5, which gets cancelled and we are left with 41. It is just a coincidence that we are left with a constant number, but it could be a factor involving m also, but it doesn't matter. Here you will be getting a product of two factors and you solve the inequality. Hence we are arriving at inequality 41 times m plus 4 is less than 0. This is a positive constant number, it can be divided on both the sides while remaining the inequality. So m plus 4 is less than 0 or m is less than minus 4. This is your answer. So we say that any value of m belonging to minus infinity to 4 will make sure that the roots of this quadratic lies 3 lies between the roots of this quadratic. Let's do one more example. We have to find all values of m for which the roots of the quadratic equation m minus 5 times x square minus 4m minus 3 into x plus 7m minus 8 is equal to 0 are of opposite sign. I hope you have understood the concept of location of roots when you have to make sure that a number lies between the roots of the quadratic equation. You should try this question on your own. You pause the video, try the question and then look at the solution. So let's discuss the solution now. Here we know that if we have to make sure that the roots of the quadratic equation of opposite sign means one root is positive and one root is negative. That's all. Roots will be of opposite sign when one is positive and another is negative. That is, 0 lies between the roots. You have to interpret this statement. Roots are of opposite sign means one is less than 0, one is greater than 0. That is, 0 lies between the roots. Here they have given the number indirectly. So now what we have to do? AFK is less than 0 or leading coefficient m minus 5 times f of 0 is less than 0. Here fx will be m minus 5x square minus 4m minus 3 times x plus 7m minus 8 is equal. This will be your expression fx. So f of 0 is, when you put x is equal to 0 in this expression, this becomes 0, this becomes 0. We are left with only 7m minus 8. So the inequality becomes a m minus 5 into f of 0, 7m minus 8, m minus 5 into 7m minus 8 is less than 0. So you have to solve this inequality by method of intervals. If you have any doubts in method of intervals, you can go and watch my video on method of intervals in basic mathematics chapter, and then you can solve this inequality. So let's solve this inequality by method of intervals. Here first of all we have to find the zeros of this inequality. So there are two zeros. M is equal to 5 will make this inequality 0, and 8 by 7 means you have to equate these factors to 0. So m is equal to 5 and m is equal to 8 by 7 are the two zeros of this inequality. Let's solve this inequality by method of intervals. So first we plot the number line, then we plot these numbers on the number line in increasing order. Remember, it seems to be a very silly point, but it's very important that you have to plot these numbers in order as they will appear on the number line. Don't miss the order, otherwise the answer will be totally wrong. Then we'll plot the numbers 8 by 7 and then 5. Then we'll start with extreme right, that is the greatest number on the number line. Beyond that we put a positive sign. Then if the powers are odd, we change the sign when we are crossing that 0, or if the power is even, we retain the sign. So here both the powers are 1, so we will be changing the sign every time we cross a root. So positive, negative, positive. What do we require? We require less than 0. m minus 5 into 7m minus 8 is less than 0. So we see that this product factor is, this inequality is positive from minus infinity to 8 by 7. Then 8 by 7 to 5 it is negative, and 5 to infinity it is again positive. So our answer will be 8, interval is 8 by 7 to 5, and since there is no equality over here, we put open brackets. End points will not be included. Therefore our answer is m belongs to 8 by 7 to 5. 8 by 7 to 5 is the interval where this quadratic will have roots of opposite sign. So let's move on to the next case. The next case is if exactly one of the roots of f of x equal to 0 lies between k1 and k2. k1 and k2 are two distinct fixed numbers, and we have assumed that k1 is less than k2, and k1 k2 themselves are not the roots, means neither k1 nor k2 is a root of this equation. So now we have to ascertain that at least exactly one root lies between k1 and k2. So this is the required case, k1 k2, and this root alpha lies between k1 and K2. So what do we need to ascertain so that alpha lies between K1 and K2? Here f of K1 into f of K2 is less than 0. If this inequality is satisfied, then this is the necessary and sufficient condition to ensure that alpha or at least one of the roots, exactly one of the roots lies between K1 and K2. Let's see how. If f of K1 into f of K2 is less than 0, it means that these two numbers will be of opposite sign. Means if f of K1 is positive, then f of K2 is negative. If f of K2 is positive, then f of K1 is negative. And since it is a continuous function, when it goes from positive to negative or negative to positive, it definitely attains the value 0. Let's see it graphically. Suppose if at K1 function is positive and at K2 function is negative. These two are of opposite sign. So if this is positive, this has to be negative, and we have to join these two points by a straight line, continuous curve, not a straight line, because it's a parabola. So what we see that if we are decreasing, if we have to go from positive to a negative value, we have to decrease the function, and in between, if it is a continuous function, it will definitely become 0 at some point. So there will definitely exist a root between K1 and K2, and this root has to lie between K1 and K2. So second case, if f of K1 is positive and f of K1 is negative and f of K2 is positive, still when the graph is increasing from a negative to positive point, it has to attain this value 0 between K1 and K2. So there will definitely be one root and only one root between K1 and K2. So let's see how this inequality ensures that at exactly one root will lie between K1 and K2. What do we say? That if a graph of quadratic is upwards and the parabola is moving like this, these two numbers, if one root has to lie between K1 and K2, then if the function is positive at K1, K2 will be negative, and f of K1 is positive, f of K2 is negative, means the product is negative. Suppose the parabola is shifted and the root lies here, and now K1 is in between the parabola. In this case also, we are considering the various possibilities of parabola for one root lying between K1 and K2. So if one root lies between K1 and K2, and the parabola is upwards, then it goes down, and it again goes up and cuts the x-axis at some point beyond K2, or it is coming from plus infinity, cuts the x-axis before K1 and then takes a turn, goes up and cuts in between K1 and K2. Or if the parabola is downwards, then for one root to be between K1 and K2, the graph will be either this or this. So in all the four cases we observe, that f of K1 and f of K2 are of opposite sign. That is, the product f of K1 into f of K2 is negative. In all the four possible cases for one root to lie between K1 and K2, this product has to be negative. And since the function is attaining a value 0, it means it will definitely have roots. Here we don't need to ascertain that the roots exist separately or the discriminant is positive or equal to 0, because opposite signs at K1 and K2 itself ensures that there is definitely a root. Now let's solve example. You have to find all the values of m for which exactly one root of equation m plus 3 into x square minus 3mx plus 4 is equal to 0 lies between minus 2 and 2. Every time I am using this variable m, because if I use a, then you will be confused with the leading coefficient, but I have observed that in most of the questions they are giving it a. So this, be careful whenever we are saying a into fk, we are saying the leading coefficient into the value of function at k. So here m plus 3 is a, minus 3m is b, and c is 4. You have to ensure that this quadratic has a root, exactly one root between minus 2 and 2. So let's do the question. There is only one inequality required to ascertain that exactly one root lies between minus 2 and 2. That is f of k1 into f of k2 is less than 0. That is f of minus 2 into f of 2 is less than 0. For f of minus 2, you put x is equal to minus 2. This becomes 4 times m plus 3 plus 6m plus 4, which is equal to 4m plus 6m 10m, and 12 plus 4 16, and 4m plus 3 minus 6m. When you put x is equal to 2, this will still be negative, plus 4, that is minus 2m plus 16. Hence the required inequality is 10m plus 16 into 16 minus 2m less than 0. Now you take 2 common from here, 2 common from here, divide, you get 5m plus 8 into 8 minus m is less than 0. Before we proceed for the method of intervals, we have to make sure that the variables involved in the inequality are positive. So we have to make this m positive. We take out minus sign common from this bracket, multiply this entire inequality, so we get 5m plus 8 into m minus 8 greater than 0. Since we are multiplying by a minus 1, this inequality reverses, and now the inequality becomes 5m plus 8 into m minus 8 is greater than 0. The numbers which are making this inequality 0 is minus 8 by 5 and 8. So let's proceed for the method of intervals. We plot the number line, we plot the numbers in the order as they appear on the number line, minus 8 by 5 and then 8. Since all the variables are positive, we start with a positive sign from the extreme right, means beyond it we put a positive sign. Then since both the exponents of these factors are odd, that is 1 and 1, then we will change the sign whenever we are crossing a 0 or 8 or any number on the number line, plotted on the number line. So positive, negative, then again positive. We require greater than 0. It means the first interval is minus infinity to minus 8 by 5 and the second interval is 8 to infinity. The intervals are minus infinity to minus 8 by 5 union 8 to infinity. Since there is no equality, we say that we have to put open brackets at all the endpoints, and minus infinity plus infinity, remember, never included. You have to always put open brackets at minus infinity and plus infinity. So our final answer is this: m belongs to minus infinity to minus 8 by 5 union 8 to infinity. Now let's discuss the case 3, where we have to ensure that k, a given constant number, is greater than both the roots of the equation f of x is equal to 0. That is, when we plot this situation on the number line, we have to ensure that if the roots alpha and beta are here, then k lies on the right side of the larger root. So let's start forming the inequalities and required conditions. In the first two cases, we were able to make sure that our condition is satisfied by only one inequality. In the first case, afk is negative, and in the second case, f of k1 into f of k2 is negative. But in the now the remaining two cases, we have to form little more number of inequalities. So let's start. All the possible cases of the quadratic function f of x is equal to 0 are these 6. A less than 0, we have got 3 possible graphs, and a greater than 0, we have got 3 possible graphs. Out of these, we will select that what or conditions are required to make sure that this is our required case. So for roots, here we have to first ensure that the roots do exist. Roots do exist, so we have to ensure that the inequality d greater than 0 or greater than or equal to 0 holds. This we have to ascertain to make sure that the roots exist. So we are eliminating these two graphs, because if the roots doesn't exist, then there is no point of talking about k is greater than or less than the roots, because the roots itself are not there. So these two graphs are of no use. So we eliminated these two graphs by making sure that d is greater than or equal to 0. So remaining possibilities are, if a is positive, these two graphs, that is either the parabola will cut the graph x-axis at two distinct points, or it will touch the x-axis, or if the parabola is downwards, these four possibilities are there. So still the number k could lie anywhere on this number line x, and in relation to the parabola we say that it could be either towards the left of the parabola, it could be towards the right of the parabola, or in between the parabola, that is k could be lying on the outskirts of the parabola or in between the parabola. So let's see which all cases we need. We need to k lie outside the roots. We have to eliminate this part lying in between the roots. So we know that a number lies between the roots, a into fk is negative. A into fk is negative only in between the roots, and afk is positive beyond the roots. So to make sure that k lies beyond the roots, we have to form the second inequality, that is a into fk is greater than 0. K must lie outside the roots, therefore a into fk is positive. So now we have eliminated, by the first inequality we eliminated these two graphs. By this inequality we have eliminated the possibility of k lying between the roots. So these two are the first two inequalities we have to ensure. Now the remaining possibilities are k could be on the either on the left of the parabola or on the right of the parabola. We want k to be greater than both the roots of f of x equal to 0. This k is our answer. We have to eliminate this. So let's form an inequality for this. We observe that if k has to lie on the right side of the parabola in both the cases, the vertex, which is a known point, we have to find a known point to fix this. We have to make sure that the vertex lies towards the left of the parabola, that is vertex of the parabola must lie towards the left of k, or in other words we say that the x coordinate of the parabola, that is minus b by 2a, should be less than k. Remember, if we are ensuring that the vertex of the parabola is less than k, and it means the vertex will be somewhere towards the left, and since we have ensured that k is outside the roots, then this parabola cannot cut the x-axis like this. It has to cut before k only, because k is outside the roots. So this inequality ensures that k lies towards the right side of the parabola. The first inequality, d greater than or equal to 0, ensures that the roots exist. A into fk is greater than 0, afk positive ensures that the k lies outside the roots, and minus b by 2a is less than k ensures that the k lies towards the right side of the parabola, that is k is greater than both the roots of the parabola. So we see that now we are left with only this possibility. Either the parabola is upwards or downwards, k will always lie towards the right of the parabola, and the x-axis parabola will either touch or cut the x-axis. It means the roots will exist and they both will be less than k. So let's sum up the inequalities which we have formed. So the required inequalities to ensure that given number k is greater than both the roots of the function fx is equal to 0 are: first, we have to ensure that roots exist, a discriminant is greater than or equal to 0. Second, we have to ensure that k lies outside the roots, that is afk is positive. And third, we have to ensure that k lies on the higher side of the roots, that is the vertex of the parabola x coordinate minus b by 2a is less than k. If we ensure these three inequalities, then our number k will be greater than both the roots of the parabola. So these three inequalities you have to ensure to satisfy this condition. Now we will be discussing case 4 along with this only, because case 4 and case 3 are interrelated. Here in the previous case we were discussing that the k lies towards the right of the parabola. Here we will be saying that k is less than both the roots of the equation f of x is equal to 0. So these two cases are very similar. The first two inequalities are same, that is we have to eliminate these two graphs first, and to ensure that d is greater than or equal to 0 or the roots exist. Then we have to ensure that the k lies outside the roots. K lies outside the roots. Here we have, in the previous case we accepted this k, here we will be accepting this k. So a into fk is greater than 0 ensures that this k is not included. So the k can be here or here. AFK means k, AFK positive means k lies outside the roots. So we are left with only this possibility. Now we have to make sure that here the difference comes. Till now case 3 and case 4 are exactly same. First ensure d is greater than or equal to 0, that is roots exist. Then ensure that k lies outside the roots, that is AFK is positive. In the previous case we have ensured that k lies towards the right of the parabola. In this case we will be eliminating this possibility. We will be ensuring that the k lies towards the left of the parabola, that it is less than both the roots of the quadratic f of x is equal to 0. So here we will make sure that the vertex of the parabola lies towards the right of k. Vertex lies towards the right of k, or it is the x coordinate of the vertex is greater than k. So the last inequality for case 4 is minus b by 2a, that is the vertex x coordinate of the vertex is greater than k. So now we are left with these two possibilities, and here if all these three inequalities satisfy, k will always lie towards the left of parabola and there will be two roots of the quadratic equation. So let's sum up the inequalities required for k less than both the roots of the quadratic. First is discriminant greater than or equal to 0. This ensures roots exist. Inequality required is a dot fk, that is a times fk is positive, which ensures that k lies outside the roots. And the third inequality is minus b by 2a is greater than k, which ensures that the parabola lies towards the right of the number k, or k lies on the lower side of the roots. These three inequalities combined make sure that k is less than both the roots of the quadratic f of x is equal to 0. So these four cases are the important cases in location of roots of quadratic. These four cases combined will give you any other possibility of location of roots. So remaining all cases can be derived from the above four cases. Depending upon the case required, use one or more of the cases combined to get the required inequalities. For example, I will discuss some examples where you will need to combine some of the cases of these four and get the required inequalities. For example, if the question asks you that the interval, open interval k1 and k2 contains both the roots of the quadratic equation. So you have to make sure that, assuming k1 is less than k2, alpha beta lies between k1 and k2, means the parabola, whether upwards or downwards, cuts the x-axis between k1 and k2. It has to cut, and that too it has to cut between k1 and k2. So this inequality is combination of the last two cases, that is first number k1 you have to make sure that it is less than both the roots of the quadratic, and then the number k2 is greater than both the roots of the quadratic equation. So when you combine both the cases, you will get the condition that alpha beta are greater than k1 but less than k2, or in another words we can say that alpha beta belongs to the interval k1 k2. So in the last two cases, we observed that the first two inequalities are same. That is, we have to first ensure that the discriminant is greater than or equal to 0. That is, the roots exist. Then you have to make sure that the number a times f of k1, a times f of k1 is positive. That is, k1 lies outside the roots. A times f of k2 is positive, means k2 lies outside the roots. Now you have ensured that the roots exist. K1 and k2 lies outside the roots. Now you have to ensure that the k1 is less than alpha beta and k2 is greater than alpha beta. In order to ensure that, we have to make sure that the vertex of this parabola lies between k1 and k2. That is, x coordinate of the vertex minus b by 2a is greater than k1 but less than k2. This ensures that the roots lies between k1 and k2. All these four inequalities combined gives you the required answer. Let's discuss one more example, that if the closed interval k1 k2 is contained between the roots of the quadratic f of x is equal to 0. So the question requires you that k1 k2, this closed interval, entire interval should be contained between alpha and beta, that is the roots of the quadratic equation. So this can be derived from the first case, I suppose, where we discussed that a number k lies between roots of the quadratic equation, because here you see number k1 taken separately lies between alpha beta, number k2 separately taken lies between alpha and beta. So we can say that first we ensure that a times fk1 is less than 0. This will ensure that this number k1 lies between alpha and beta, and a times fk2 is less than 0. This ensures that k2 lies between the roots. This is more than sufficient. Here you don't need to ensure that the roots of the quadratic exist, because afk1 less than 0 or afk less than negative itself ensures that the quadratic has roots. I have already discussed this previously in this video. So these two are sufficient and necessary conditions for ascertaining that k1 k2 is contained between alpha and beta. If one more thing that you might be thinking, that this, how can we be sure that this entire interval is contained between alpha and beta? So for that, if k1 is between alpha beta, k2 is between alpha beta, then it is not possible that this interval is, any point of this interval will be excluded. So this entire interval is contained between alpha and beta. So let's do some questions. First I will be discussing some conceptual questions, and then I will be going for some numericals also. So here the question is asked that if a is positive and a plus b plus c is less than 0, then for the quadratic ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, which of the following statements are true? Means if these two hold true, then you have to determine that out of these four, which all can be said. So first, let's see the options. Roots are real and distinct, roots are imaginary, one root is positive, one root is negative, one root is less than 1 and other is greater than 1. More than one option is correct. So if you want to try, you can pause the video, try the question. Let's see the solution. Here the f of x is ax square plus bx plus c. If you observe, this expression a plus b plus c is obtained by putting x is equal to 1 in this. So if you see that this is the value of f of 1, means it is given that f of 1 is less than 0, f of 1 is negative and a is given to be positive. So we can say that a times f1 is less than 0, a f1 is negative. This is negative if these two holds true. So if this product is negative, we have already discussed that if a times fk is negative for any value of k, then the roots are real and distinct, and that number k lies between the roots, means the option A is true, roots are real and distinct, and option D is also true, that k lies between the roots, that is one root is less than 1 and another is root is greater than 1. So option A and option D both are correct. Let's discuss one more question. If you are given that 2b is greater than 4 plus c, 2b is greater than 4 plus c, then for the quadratic equation x square plus bx plus c equal to 0, what can you say about the roots of this quadratic equation? Options are: roots are real and distinct, roots are imaginary, one root is less than minus 2 and another is greater than minus 2, one root is less than 1 and another is greater than 1. So you can pause the video, try the question and then look at the solution. The solution is, here you are given that x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is the quadratic equation which you have to deal with. So let's assume our function is f of x is equal to x square plus bx plus c. We observe that here if we put x is equal to minus 2 in fx, we get 4 minus 2b plus c. 4 minus 2b plus c. We have been given that 2b is greater than 4 plus c. So subtracting 2b from both the sides, inequality will remain same. We get 4 minus 2b plus c is less than 0. 4 minus 2b plus c is less than 0, and you observe that this f of minus 2 is negative. This number is nothing but f of minus 2. So f of minus 2 is less than 0. A in this case is 1. So a is positive. F of minus 2 is negative, means 1 into f of minus 2 will always, a into f of k will always be negative. Thus roots will be definitely real and distinct, and this number minus 2 will be lying between the roots of this quadratic equation. Hence one root is less than minus 2 and another is greater than minus 2. Option A and option C are correct. Now let's discuss one question asked in IIT JEE 1999. The question asked was, if the roots of the quadratic equation x square minus 2ax plus a square plus a minus 3 is equal to 0 are real and less than 3, then you have to predict the range of this number a. This quadratic, for having roots less than 3, you have to find the range of a. This is clearly a question of location of roots. You pause the video, form the required inequalities, solve the required inequalities and get the answer. I am telling you the answer beforehand. The right answer is a is less than 2. Now let's discuss the solution. First of all, let's decide what all inequalities we need to form. So if we have to ensure that 3 is greater than both the roots, 3 to be greater than both the roots, first of all we have to ensure that this is the graph of the quadratic, the parabola upwards, a is 1, 3 lies towards the right side of the roots of the equation. So f of 3 is positive, the parabola is intersecting the x-axis at two distinct points and both the points are less than 3. So let's form the inequalities. First we will have to ensure that the roots exist. This parabola is not passing all above the x-axis. So d is greater than or equal to 0. Second inequality will be requiring is a times fk is greater than 0, that is this product is positive to ensure that 3 lies outside the roots. And third we will have to ensure that minus b by 2a is less than 3, that is the x coordinate of the vertex is towards the left side of the 3, so that 3 is greater than both the roots. So let's solve the inequalities. We are given the inequality x square minus 2ax plus a square plus, quadratic equation x square minus 2ax plus a square plus 3 a square plus a minus 3 is equal to 0. We have to form the required inequalities. So first inequality is discriminant is greater than or equal to 0. Discriminant is what? Minus 2a whole square, that is 4a square, minus 4 times ac, 4 times a square plus a minus 3 into 1. So we get 4a square minus 4a square getting cancelled, minus a plus 3 is remaining. So minus a plus 3 is greater than or equal to 0 or a is less than or equal to 3. This is your first inequality. Next, let's go for the second inequality. A times fk is greater than 0, which will ensure that 3 lies outside the roots of the quadratic equation. So a is 1, so we don't need to put a. F of 3 is, put in place of x you put 3, so this becomes 9 minus 6 times a plus a square plus a minus 3 is greater than 0. On rearranging, you get a square minus 5a plus 6 is greater than 0, or a minus 2. On factorizing this, you get a minus 2 into a minus 3 is greater than 0. To get the values of a for which this product is positive, we have to use method of intervals. So what we do, we plot this number line, these two numbers on the number line 2 and 3, then we start with positive, and since the powers are 1, every time we cross a number plotted on the number line, we will be changing the sign of the quadratic, so factor. So positive, negative, positive. So for this product to be positive, a belongs to minus infinity to 2 and then 3 to infinity. This is our second inequality. Let's go for the third inequality. Minus b by 2a is less than 3, which implies that minus b, that is 2a, divided by 2a, 2 times 1, the 2 gets cancelled, a is less than 3. This is the third inequality. Now let's take out the intersection, because all three inequalities need to be satisfied simultaneously to ensure that 3 is greater than both the roots of the quadratic equation. So first we plot the numbers where these inequalities are changing. So we observe that this number is changing its sign at 3, this number is changing at 2 and 3, and this number is again at 3. So we will be plotting only these two numbers, 2 and 3. First inequality, a is less than or equal to 3, means a minus infinity to 3 including 3. Here equality is there, so we will be including 3 in our answer. So next inequality, inequality number 2, minus infinity to 2 and 3 to infinity, minus infinity to 2 and 3 to infinity, second inequality. And the third inequality is minus infinity to 3, a is less than 3. So these are the three inequalities. The intersection is what? Minus infinity to 2. Only this is the part where all the three inequalities are together. So we say that the intersection part of these three inequalities is minus infinity to 2, and hence this will be your answer. A belongs to minus infinity to 2, that is option A. Let's discuss one more question. If the roots of the quadratic x square plus x plus a is equal to 0 exceed a, here you are not given a constant number, they have used this number itself to fix the roots. So you have to find the range of a. There are 4 options given to you. You can pause the video, try the question. The right answer is option D, a is less than minus 2. Let's see the solution. Here you have to make sure that a is less than both the roots of the quadratic equations. So let's see the graph first. This is the parabola, a is 1, parabola opening upwards, a is lying towards the left of the parabola, hence this parabola has to be towards the right of a. First inequality, we have to ensure that the roots exist, so discriminant is greater than or equal to 0. Second, AFK is positive, so that a lies outside the roots. Here instead of k we will be putting a. Third, the vertex is towards the right of a, that is a is less than minus b by 2a. Remember, this a and this a are not same. Here a is 1 and this a is less than a, means this is the a we are talking about. So let's see the solution. Quadratic is x square plus x plus a. Discriminant is greater than 0, b square 1 minus 4a. So minus 4a plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, or a is less than or equal to 1 by 4. First inequality. Second, AFK is greater than 0, a is 1, so f of k is what? A. We put value of a in place of x, we get a square plus a, that is a square plus 2a. A taken common, a into a plus 2 is greater than 0, or when we use the method of intervals, we get the numbers are 0 and minus 2, So we plot them on number line. Both the powers are 1, so we'll be changing the sign every time we cross a factor. So plus, minus, plus. So for positive, we will be a will be belonging to minus infinity to minus 2 union 0 to infinity. Third inequality, minus b by 2a, minus b is minus 1 and a is 1. So minus half is greater than a, or a is less than minus half. Now let's plot these numbers on the number line. So here there are 4 numbers involved, 1 by 4, minus 2, 0 and half. So all the numbers are plotted on the number line in the increasing order, remember. So first inequality is a is less than 1 by 4. So this is your first inequality, a is less than 1 by 4. Second inequality is a belongs to minus infinity to minus 2 and 0 to infinity. Third inequality, a is less than minus half. So you see that all the 3 inequalities are satisfied only in this portion of the graph. So what will be our answer? A belonging to minus infinity to 2, that is a is less than minus 2. So our answer is what? Minus 2. So our final answer is a belongs to minus infinity to minus 2, or we can say that a is less than minus 2. So thank you very much for watching. This completes the chapter location of roots. You can practice as many questions as possible, because in mathematics, remember, practice makes a man perfect. In mathematics, this is very important and there is no substitute for hard work. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel YLC, that is your learning curve. Thank you.